Good evening, everybody. Thank you so much for joining me here at the First Alert Desk. My name's Karli Barnett, and we have a look at some of the stories that we are following for your Tuesday. In just a few minutes, we're going to have First Alert meteorologist Fred Campagna join us. But in the meantime, I did want to give a look at some of the stories that we have been working on, and then a little bit more of what you can expect tonight. So a quick programming note, you can join us tonight at 10 on Peachtree TV and 11 on WANF. And of course, you can also watch us wherever you stream Atlanta News First. We will be right here at the First Alert Desk to give you your updates. So the first story that we want to bring to you, this is one that we first brought to you on Sunday at Breaking News right here on ANF Plus. In fact, this is the situation that is going on in Rockdale County. You have this video. This is previously shot video from Sunday. You see that big plume of that chemical smoke. And we do have more updates from Rockdale County for you tonight. Our reporter Bridget Spencer is out there with the latest, but we now know that Rockdale County government has issued another shelter-in-place order. And if you're following along and you're a little confused, it was last night that they lifted the shelter-in-place order. They put it back into effect today, and now they are saying that that shelter-in-place order is in effect until Friday. But they are only saying for the overnight hours. So from 7 p.m. until 7 a.m., they are encouraging you to shelter in place. Now, this will, at this point, be in effect until Friday, October 4th. They say if things change, that may be updated. But right now, in a statement that they issued, they said, quote, during certain times, due to weather and inversion in the evening, air quality readings may dip to concerning levels for those in direct exposure to the plume. With citizen safety in mind, Rockdale EMA is recommending Rockdale County shelter in place from 7 p.m. to 7 a.m. beginning tonight until Friday, October 4th. In the event conditions change, the recommendation will be revised. So we also have some chopper video. This was taken today, actually. First Alert chopper overhead of this plume. You can see this is that biolab facility where all of this took place on Sunday. And you can still see, I mean, it is still going up into the sky. So with sheltering in place, Rockdale County EMA also telling residents to close their doors and windows and turn off your HVAC systems if they draw air from the outside. Now, for continuing air quality data, Rockdale EMA says residents can continue to check with the U.S. Environmental Protection Agency's website. That's epa.gov/Georgia/Conyers-Georgia-biolab fire. Now, of course, we have all of this for you on AtlantaNewsFirst.com. Hey, Hope, I see you're just joining us. So what this is as of now in Rockdale County, this video was shot a little bit earlier. I'll take you back out to this video. This was shot on Sunday as labeled. So now Rockdale County Emergency Management Agency is encouraging people to shelter in place through Friday in the overnight hours. So from 7 p.m. until 7 a.m., that was just announced this evening. So that is the latest on that. Now, we also have a couple of road closures to let you know about as well. Old Covington Highway at Rockdale Industrial Boulevard, Kaiser Crossing at Rockdale Industrial Boulevard, Old Covington Highway at Black Lawn Road, Dogwood Drive at VFW Drive, and Veterans Drive at VFW Drive. If any of those perk up your attention, keep that in mind. And I know that if you are on the move, if you're watching us as you go, you can find all of these things on our Atlanta News First app. That way, if you have that, you can go ahead and get those breaking news updates sent directly to your phone. That way, if they do change the shelter-in-place orders, if that's ultimately lifted, you can know right away. And now we also know that a number of residents there in Rockdale County are filing a class action lawsuit. Our reporter Brittany Ford learned a little bit more about what all that involves.
I'm Brittany Ford in Conyers, where there have been several class action lawsuits filed against Biolab. This is one of those, a 40-page class action lawsuit filed Monday seeking damages for those affected by the chemical fire. The lawsuit, spearheaded by Stuart Miller Simmons trial attorneys, involves several attorneys from different law firms and focuses on property damage. Now, the group says they've been fielding hundreds of complaints and plan to expand those conditions.
Now, a couple of other things to know if you live or work in Rockdale County, if you know somebody who does. The Rockdale County government offices, they will be closed for the remainder of the week. County officials also saying that the drinking water in the county remains safe, and they note that water samples are being tested 3 times daily, and all results have turned back safe levels. Streams downstream from the biolab facility do not feed into the Haynes watershed, which is the source of the county's drinking water. Hey, Alex, I see you're joining. Christy, hey, thank you for asking these questions. Enjoyer, you're watching too. Hey, we appreciate you joining. We want to continue to update you. Atlanta News First, we have been your source for this breaking news out of Rockdale County from day one, and we are going to continue to stay on top of it. And it was during a press briefing earlier today that county officials shared that efforts continue to manage the aftermath of that fire. So what you're seeing, that plume, again, this was shot just today with our first alert chopper. This is not smoke. This is actually still the result of that chemical reaction that took place when a fire broke out at the facility on Sunday. A sprinkler went off and that water reacted with the chemical that is in the biolab facility. So again, continue to stay with Atlanta News First. We are getting lots of updates, lots of changes as things progress. It's a developing situation. And again, we will continue to keep you posted. Turning now to our other top story that we have been working on, that is, of course, Helene. And we know that several areas all across our state of Georgia have been impacted by this, particularly those in our southern and more central counties. We have some images here. President Joe Biden approving a major disaster declaration for 41 of our counties impacted by Helene. Hundreds of thousands of Georgians living at or near Valdosta, Augusta, and Savannah, they are still experiencing power outages after Helene, of course, knocked down several power lines. FEMA announced that individuals can register for a one-time $750 payment to help with essential items like food, water, baby formula, other supplies. And FEMA says those who register may also qualify for disaster-related financial assistance to repair storm-related damage to homes, replace property, as well as assistance in finding a place to stay. So if you want to know more, again, we have all of this for you on atlantanewsfirst.com, but I will go ahead and give you a phone number and a website. So go ahead and jot this down, or if you're watching from your phone, go ahead and open the Notes app on your phone. You can go to disasterassistance.gov. You can also call 1-800-621-3362, 1-800-621-3362. Now, we know how hard that many people here in Georgia have been feeling this, but I want to take you to some video out of North Carolina. We especially know Asheville, for example, is one of the communities that's really just been decimated by Helene. And our reporter, Madeline Montgomery, tonight, she speaks with a man who is now back in metro Atlanta, but says that he was stuck in North Carolina as a result of Helene, and he talks about his harrowing journey to make it back home. You are not going to want to miss this. That is tonight at 10 and 11. You can join us on Atlanta News First, of course on TV, or wherever you stream Atlanta News First. Make sure I'm getting all my supers here in order, but unfortunately we have learned that as a result of Helene in Georgia, in North Carolina, across the United States, anyone who was impacted, all of the states, the death toll is at least 150 people. So, this has just been absolutely devastating for so many communities, and we do have ways that you can help out. If you want to do so, we have a lot more resources. All you have to do is search Helene on our website, atlantanewsfirst.com, and we have all kinds of ways that you can reach out, all kinds of ways you can support, whether it's collecting supplies or financially. Well, in less than an hour now, we know that the vice presidential debate is taking place, and you can watch it here on Atlanta News First. And We also know that there has been a new poll released today of Georgia voters. Right now, that poll shows former President Donald Trump with a lead over Vice President Kamala Harris in our state. Likely voters were polled. Right now, former President Trump showing 50% support as opposed to Vice President Kamala Harris with 44% support. So again, tonight, in less than an hour, that's going to be at 9 o'clock. The vice presidential candidates will go head-to-head in their debate. You can watch it here. Ohio Senator J.D. Vance and Minnesota Governor Tim Walz. That debate taking place in New York at CBS Studios. And speaking of presidents, it is a very special day here, October 1st, because it is former President Jimmy Carter's birthday, 100 years old. So wishing President Carter a very happy birthday. We have some video of him here. This wasn't shot today. This was some previous video. But of course, a remarkable life of military, political, economic, social accomplishments. And he reached a major milestone today. And in fact, today he was actually escorted out of his home by family and friends to witness a flyover that was held in his honor. His hometown of Plains had a number of different celebrations. Of course, people all out to pay their respects. There's that flyover there to Jimmy Carter, Georgia's only president, wishing him and his family all the best. All right, we'll go ahead and take you back out here live so that I can maybe try to give you a live look outside. Maybe not. Either or. I will just go ahead.
Put the thing on the roundup. That's it. The weather graphic up.
This one?
No. Hold on.
This one? All right. This is when I turn things over to First Alert meteorologist Fred Campagna, who knows how to work these buttons better than me sometimes.
All right, Karli, thanks. And yeah, it's a little bit of an ominous-looking first graphic for me there, just stating chemical cloud. But I'm going to talk a little bit about what's going on out in Rockdale County, which I'm sure so many people are interested in, and definitely feel for the people who are out there and dealing with what you've had to deal with over the last couple of days since the biolab situation started over the weekend. So let's go back to that. And what I want to talk to you about is what's called the temperature inversion. It happens at night. It happens frequently at night. Usually you don't know about it, really. It just cools down at the surface. But in a situation like this, when there's light winds and you get that temperature inversion, it can affect the air quality very negatively. So back over to this, and this is to talk a little bit about how these temperature inversions form and what they do. So in a normal day, the air is warmest at the surface, gradually cools as you go higher up into the atmosphere, and the air rises. So that's why on a normal day, you just don't have a lot of smog or anything like that. All of the pollutants, if you will, be them from a fire or some type of chemical reaction or even just from a power plant, will go up into the atmosphere. And what happens at night, a lot of nights, is you get this cool layer of air that forms near the surface. When winds are light, you get some warmer air aloft, and it acts as a cap. That warmer air sinks, and you really end up with this inversion layer that prevents the air from dissipating. So that's why we've seen this chemical cloud for the last couple of days. And the inversion forecast here, not one that we normally give, shows how there will be a temperature inversion tomorrow morning, Thursday morning. This is for Rockdale County, and really it's for all of our area. Friday morning, a little bit breezy, so that may prevent the temperature inversion from forming overnight. Typically, it forms when there's not a breeze out there. And then Saturday morning again. So as long as this thing is going to be active, I don't even know what to call it, smoldering, I guess, there could be an issue. So that's why the shelter in place is in effect in Rockdale County from 7 p.m. until 7 a.m. And as you can see right now, east of Atlanta, the wind has already gone calm this evening. So that temperature inversion is forming, and if there's poor air quality out in that part of our area because of the chemical cloud, it's partly due to the light winds, will very much so due to the light winds and the temperature inversion. 77 degrees right now in Atlanta, the Midtown skyline looking beautiful. Temperatures for the most part are a little bit warmer around Atlanta, north and west, even northeast, but a little bit cooler as you go east of Atlanta. And with the light winds out there right now in clear skies, the temperatures are going to fall tonight. So it will be a bit more comfortable, a little bit cooler for us early tomorrow morning. Morning first thing, look for that temperature to drop down to near 60 degrees in some of the cooler spots and generally in the low to mid 60s right around the metro. So a little bit milder than normal actually for what you would expect for this time of the year, but a nice start to the day. A little more sunshine in the forecast for tomorrow, and temperatures will climb out of the 70s and into the mid 80s during the afternoon. We did make it to 83 this afternoon. I think we get up to about 84 on Wednesday afternoon with a mostly sunny sky. That's for Atlanta, 84 Covington, Athens as well, Rome, 85 LaGrange, 86 Eatonton, so a little bit warmer as you go south, and a little bit cooler up north. Northern suburbs, about 82 or so, and then mountains, 79 to about 80 degrees. On Thursday, temperatures in the same neighborhood, but you'll notice a breeze starting to develop out of the east to southeast as we go through the day on Thursday. Somebody asking how much bromine is in the cloud. Well, I mean, we don't know necessarily what the complete chemical makeup is of the cloud in Rockdale County. We just have to go with what they're telling us is happening out that way. High temperatures take a little dip for us on Friday into the upper 70s because of more clouds. Low chance of a stray shower on Friday. I don't think there's going to be a lot. Thursday, partly cloudy. Friday's mostly cloudy. Saturday, some thin clouds overhead. Still some filtered sunshine, should be nice. And Sunday looks like a nice day. So overall, not too much to be concerned about here weather-wise going forward. There will be an area of low pressure potentially, though, in the Gulf of Mexico on Sunday, something for us to definitely keep an eye on. And I'll show you a little bit more about that right now, which is a 40% chance of seeing something develop in the next 7 days. So no chance it happens in the next 2 days, but sometime this weekend or early next week, there could be a tropical depression that forms in the Gulf of Mexico, as we just saw from Helene. Any storm that comes out of the Gulf can cause major problems if it impacts the United States. It's still way too early to say what would happen if something formed in the Gulf of Mexico, but most of the computer models do not have a major weather event and do not have much of an impact here in North Georgia. They have a scenario where there could be some impact in Florida, but again, it's a long, long way down the road, relatively speaking, talking about potentially a week from now. That disturbance could possibly be heading for Florida if it forms. Kirk is out there in the Atlantic. That is expected to become a major hurricane and then turn off to the northeast. It's no threat to land right now. And a 90% chance that we get our next named storm forming off of that tropical wave on the right-hand side of your screen. Here's Atlanta's most accurate 7-day forecast, and you'll notice how temperatures are right around 80 degrees this weekend and into early next week. One other thing I want to point out for you before I say so long for the evening is Tuesday morning's temperature. One of the cooler mornings we've seen so far this fall. It'll likely be in the upper 50s around the metro. That means some low to mid 50s as you go into the higher elevations of the mountains. Have a great evening. Check us out, Peachtree TV, 10 o'clock, and then on Atlanta News First at 11. Take it easy.